Hello world. So in this video, just like I do when I have updates on anything important, here's an update. So for a long time, I know that I wanted to somehow make an impact through the lives of children specifically, because they are the next generation, and every single year, every single day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second that a child lives in this world and their environment is not really supporting them to flourish and be the real individual that they are, because of the people that are in their environment, because of the physical environment, the hazards of it, those are the two main points. It's either the people in their environment, or their environment is actually hazardous to them. That encompasses all the obstacles that are preventing children from being their real self. So, as long as that exists, no matter how long, it's bad and it needs to change. Now, for me, I've been working towards this goal, learning the practical skills, learning about the problems, in detail, getting hands-on experience, the usual stuff which would have been ordinary for any person to learn. But now I'm looking a little bit further and deeper into let's say, the systemized change that I will be trying to implement, which I know that exists, but I really haven't defined it as of yet, because the answer will just reveal itself to me as the more I learn. And that is a process that I've applied so many times throughout my education, throughout life, where whenever I learn something new, I just sort of, in a way, trust the teacher. I trust just that by moment, the more I learn, the more I will start realizing and seeing the patterns and the solutions before I even know it. Because it's a discovery. Whenever you work with knowledge, whenever you work with this world, it's a discovery. You're not inventing something new, you're discovering what is already here. So the same thing with this point of, for children, what is the future going to be for children? What is going to be the best for all point? What is going to be the solution that's going to be implemented? So that's something that's already here, it just needs to be lived. Not really discovered, but lived as a solution. So I know it's just going to reveal itself. Now, for me today, I looked at the point, and today I saw that the point of oneness and equality, those words are a key for creating a curriculum for children, for early education, in the very early years, as early as possible, as those words being the foundation for what caregivers, teachers, educators, parents will speak, explain, share, teach, demonstrate, act out, and show for the children. Because if you look at this point here, with oneness and equality, when you apply that to existence, that means you are one equal to the animals and the plants. So already there, introducing that to children, where they start seeing all animals, bugs, insects, every single animal, and all the plants, all the nature as a part of them, and them being part of those things, and just being connected to the earth. That's already a huge plus. That already will prevent lots of problems within ignoring the environment, within abusing animals, within not developing all sorts of characteristics, traits, personalities, expressions that are actually in harmony and cohesion with that part of life, that part of existence. And then you can look at the other point with humans, where you want equal with all humans. So no matter, of course, all the obvious points within racism, sexism, age, but also things that are very accepted now, which includes beauty and ugliness. Look at some humans as beautiful and some humans as ugly. With oneness and equality, that doesn't exist. The same with any characteristic, whether someone is smart or dumb, that difference, that judgment of superiority, inferiority won't exist. And those points, those polarities of someone is being good and someone's being bad, where we then separate humans into categories like that, right now that's accepted by everyone. And so various degrees, large degrees, smaller degrees, subtle degrees, where we'll judge ourselves, like myself, as beautiful or ugly, or smart or dumb, or any other dimension that you want to consider polarity. But within understanding oneness quality, then looking at it and seeing this reality through the eyes of reality, through the eyes of physical, as a physical being, as a physical thing, where I'm physical, you're physical, we're the same. Yes, our makeup's a little bit different, but just like the color blue and the color yellow, one's not better than the other. They're just different colors. And so, because right now, we've kind of, when we are parents, when we are educators, when we are daycare people, staff, when we are preschool teachers, when we are babysitters, wherever we are interacting with children, as family members, already right now, who we are is not living oneness and equality, as seeing all of this reality as one equal, as equally valuable, as all people as valuable, all people from all countries, and living that really. And the thing is, I know the deeper dimension, let's say, the more specific dimension has to do with what we think and what we feel, because those things that's going on within us, that's defined within the dimension of separation, of seeing one as more than the other. Though it's kind of tricky to show that. So for me, right now I'm seeing the possibility of oneness and equality as the foundation point. Because who wouldn't want to have a curriculum that introduces that, where you see people from all backgrounds as the same? Right now it's quite accepted to have point of not having sexism or racism or things which divide people or judge people. So it's just about taking that step further and introducing that point of a curriculum that pretty much takes everything that is possible or that can be worked within that culture, within that country, within that society, within that neighborhood, to bring forth that point of oneness equality of all things of life, with this entire reality. And you can speak it within that terms, because if you look at many religions, or all religions, they have that point where we're all God's children. We're all the same, really. So they have that point, and it's widespread throughout the world. Or if you want to talk about principles of morality, of equality, that exists throughout the world. So yes, there are people with religions, within groups, that do divide against certain people. But even though they're religion, there's still that point that has that equality. It's just kind of obscured. But for the most part, there's many opportunities. There's lots of potential to introduce this point as a neutral point, where anyone from any religion, any background, can just live that, seeing the oneness and equality of this entire reality, seeing the greatness in everything, the wonderfulness in everything. So that's what I saw today. That potential of such a curriculum being introduced for children and explaining that. And of course, it would need, as a curriculum, you introduce it to the system. And so it's a systematic way for educators to be trained to explain, or however way that can be systematized within a certain school setting, within a certain uh, business, like daycare business set up for that. Maybe it has to be catered only to part of the population, or maybe it can be introduced more widespread throughout all public, preschools or whatever it may be. So, because that point, it kind of, it's a point of morality, might as well call it that, because, but something that's it's not very controversial, really. I mean, it can be, because certain people, for example, maybe with the point of animals and plants, like, okay, has to do with like being vegetarian, right? But it's not even really about that, because even, let's say, the natives, the plains, uh, the people of the plains from the Americas used to hunt buffalo, and that's how they lived, and they would use all the parts of the buffalo, and they honored it. They honored the animal. They had a close connection to it, even though they hunted and used the animal's body. It wasn't within malice or hate or anything like that. It was a point of, okay, we understand that this is what needs to be done, and we do it, let's say, with love, you could say, with understanding, with respect. And for me, I started picturing then, okay, what specific words can be used to introduce the point of oneness and equality, because you can have words like respect, and we use these words with children right now. We use points like respect, consideration, would you want that be done to you, but it's not necessarily, systematized. Kind of depends a bit on the person, but that exists, to a degree. So it's just pushing it like a little bit more, like making it more organized in a way. Having the words that really kind of sum it up, create a nice summary of it, which right now is oneness and equality. That's what I found. That seems to work. And for me, when I first heard those words, it made a click in my life. It made a big difference. So it can very well do the same for everyone. I just have to introduce it in such a way where it's understood. So that's what I see as the potential, because if that point, like I explained, were to be everywhere, or no matter where it exists, that if it were to be implemented, when that child grows up, they will be an adult that is responsible, will be understanding. I mean, as they grow up, they're going to be faced with challenges, going to be faced with situations, dilemmas, questions like, do I choose this, do I choose that, what do I do? And the science shows that a child's who they are, their personality is developed in the early years. And of course, that's not all there is. You can be with all sorts of traumas and with all sorts of experiences, good experiences as well. It's never too late to change. But if you have that foundation early on, that's pretty powerful. Just like if you've been traumatized or abused early on, that does have a huge effect on you. But just in the same way, having a really positive point, foundation, is actually really supportive. So right now, this is who I am and this is what I look at, because for me, childcare, early education, it's not about playing with the kids. It's not about all that stuff, which everyone who does that has a work and they do that, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's bad, but I am interested in the bigger picture, and how am I actually going to find a way to improve on what is here, to actually upgrade the system, introducing a new system or adding to the system, so that a systematic change will have an effect, and so will improve the lives of so many. Because within us, as humans, we have that point, and it shows within religion, within spirituality, within philosophy of let's say God, where it's like, okay, we're equal, where there's that point of let's say greatness, or greater than, and this is what I see truly represented, is when we really live that with each other, within our actions and who we are, where we show that care, we show that support, where we live it, where we, because we see each other as equals, as one, we go out to make sure we're all taken care of, that we all have support, that we all are well off, and that's really the value of life, is life, which means each other, all of us. Together we form life, and we are the value, both each of ourselves as individuals separate, but also each other as individuals as separate. We are all valuable, and we are the value of life. So that's kind of the point right there. It's kind of just showing that, explaining that, and any educator who knows that, lives that, is that, will be able to show that and teach that and explain that to children. And that I see is what's missing within society as a whole, and I see that will make a big difference. So just like in the past, there have been all sorts of educators, philosophers, people who introduced new points of the system. I'm attempting to do the same as well, in an attempt to improve what is here. So that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, so that's today. And today is a result of many days. So many days of experience I've had. And it leads to today. And tomorrow is tomorrow. So we'll see. Okay. So thank you very much.